What's up, y'all? Vlog number 8. Now, with this video, I'm gonna get into how how in this world people can sometimes take things out of context and just assume what you said is how they thought you said, or whatever action you take, they're quick to judge on what you're doing, and they don't understand clearly what's going on, what was said, what was done. They just take it at face value and think that's exactly what's going on. Whatever's going on in their head, they try to flip it on you, make it seem like that's how they saw it, and that you have to agree with them, or they trying to make a fool out of you just because of that. So this vlog video right here is called Translation. So as far as this goes, what I'm trying to talk about here, industry wise, daily basis wise, I mean, if I have to break it down for industry, well, it's pretty simple, right? For all of y'all out there who are familiar with that. Industry wise, especially music, there's this thing that when it comes to music, especially for a guy like me who wants to find meaning, wants to find purpose in everything, and these days it's like that's on the back burner. What we got right now is what's hot right now. So of course there's a whole lot of people out here trying to hop on the bandwagon for that. So with that in mind, I just want to focus on those who can make music. They can even use today's sound and still have a message behind that. What I mean by that is the context. For people to understand the context of what a song is supposed to do, in terms of the track, in terms of the title, the lyrics, like you really have to pay attention to all the details. Now, the way I see it, right? When it comes to music, the way I see it, listening to music is like watching movies. That the first time you hear it, you're trying to get a feel for, like, do you like it? Do you not like it? You know, that's the first time you hear it. Does it catch on for you or it doesn't? Right? That's when you hear it the first time. The second time is the context of what the song is talking about. Meaning, like, you got to be able to read between the lines and understand what was said, instead of trying to prejudge on what that person is saying. Listen very closely. Listen very closely, and then you'll start to get the hint of what that artist is talking about, right? And then the third thing, when you go back and listen to it again, if there's any details that you missed out from the first 2 times you heard it. And then the 4th time you hear it, 5th time, 6th time, 7th time, and so on, it's because the first 3 times you heard it, it was able to hit you right there. Meaning, like, if it was able to meet all 3 of that criteria in terms of that, especially for people who listens to music for those reasons, then you start to get it. You start to get the concept of what it's about, what the song is, what the title is, what the lyrics are. And that you took a deeper look into it and you got the bigger picture of it all. So when you listen to it on multiple occasions, it means you get it. You got it. It's like, okay, I understand where they're coming from with it. Perfect example, Kendrick Lamar, who recently came out with his album, Damn. Right? That album, and I've listened to the entire thing, that album is crazy. I mean, don't sleep on Kendrick, man. Do not sleep on him. Throughout his songs, he'll make sure that you shouldn't be sleeping on this dude. Alright? Much respect to him for that right there. Now, the hit song that came off of that album that got me into this album was Humble, right? Now, in terms of what that song was doing, see, let me break it down in terms of the three criteria that it actually met the three criteria of what I wanted the song to do for me. First, is it gonna catch on? It's Kendrick Lamar, and I listen to all his music. So listening to that song, especially for the fact that the dude uses the kind of sound that we hear today for that track specifically. So the fact that he was able to do that and still have a message behind it, it caught on for me. It worked. It actually worked. It caught on for me, so I was able to listen to it on multiple occasions. Basically, what I'm saying, it has that replay value. It has that. So that was the first time I heard that song. The first time I heard that song, that's how it was. Second time I heard that song, I took a deeper look into what the song was talking about, what the lyrics were talking about. And I started to get the bigger picture as to what that song was supposed to mean, what that song was talking about. And I also did my research online for that as well. So not just hearing it, but I look it up as well. So when I got a chance to look into that, I'm like, okay, I see what he's saying here. I actually understand that. I get it. Especially, you know, coming from the life that he was living before we know him as an artist, it's basically based on experience. And the fact that he was able to do that with that song, the fact that he was able to do that really says a lot. So looking into the context of it all, reading between the lines of it all, I get it. I understand where he's coming from. I know what he's talking about because there was that whole mini controversy that went down with a piece of lyrics in that song in terms of what he likes in women. And I actually agree with him on that because, like I mentioned before, I used one of the hashtags on one of my other pieces that I posted up talking about how artificial ain't official. Where, I mean, like plastic surgery or photoshops and stuff like that. So when when he drops those lines in that song, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense as to why he would say that because, you know, women, girls, like they shouldn't have to do that to themselves. They shouldn't have to do that to themselves just to say they're beautiful. If they know they are, then they know they are. They don't have to do anything extra to themselves just for them to say that. When they know they got it, they got to embrace it. That's the thing I like about that. So I agree with Kendrick on that. So when he says, I'm so effing sick and tired of the Photoshop, show me something natural. Like, what's so wrong about that? What's so wrong about that? Like, he's right. He's right. Ain't nothing better than a woman who is all natural and she embraces herself for herself. She's not trying to force herself to look like somebody, to be somebody she's not. See, I agree with that because that's what I like. That's what attracts me. That's what I like. You know, if I'm gonna be attracted to a female, it's for those reasons, and that she thinks on a level of she doesn't have to fall for all that just to say that she's beautiful, just to say that she's strong. When she knows she got it, she got it, and I respect the hell out of that. You know, so I agree with Kendrick on that one right there. I agree with that. But like I said, when it came to understanding the context of what the song is talking about, he's going through different subject matters throughout the entire song. So I'm like, okay, I understand where this dude is coming from. And then the third time I hear it, any details that I missed out I'm like, oh, I didn't catch that before. I didn't catch that. So that's how it was for me right there. And then, you see, that's the example in terms of music. That's a perfect example in terms of music. So when it comes down to the daily basis of it all, when it comes down to doing it on a daily basis, it's pretty much the same thing when you're trying to make sure to justify the fact that what you say or what you did is, there's going to be people out there who might take it in a different way, in terms of like you trying to explain it to them or try to spoon feed them the information. Like you trying to explain it to them the best way you could, spell it out for them so that they understand what it is that you said or what it is that you did. But if they still don't get it, then it's like, why am I wasting my breath trying to make you understand what it is that I'm trying to say, what it is that I'm trying to do? Do I really have to waste my time with that? If you don't get it, then that's on you. But for those who do, then it's like, okay, I can rock with those people who actually get what I'm talking about, who gets where I'm coming from. If there's gonna be somebody out there who doesn't get it at all, and the way they think about it, they try to flip it on you to make you look like a fool. And so you have to drop that bomb on them, make them feel like the fool, so that they can stand right there and think about what they said or what they did to try to justify the fact that they're trying to make you look like an idiot out here. And it's like, bruh, for real? You really gonna do that with me? If you paid attention to what I said, especially that when it comes to something being said, if you pay attention to what I said, like right now, I have to break it down for you to make you understand what the hell I'm talking about. I have to spoon feed you information for that. Do I really have to spell it out? Do I really have to do that right now? Because I might as well. But if you still ain't trying to hear me out, I ain't wasting my breath no more. I ain't gonna try to explain it any further than that. I'm done. I'm done. For those who gets it, for those who understand, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. For those who get it, for those who understand, and doesn't judge me right away just because of that, it's like, okay. Because, like I mentioned before, we all are entitled to our own opinions. We are all entitled to our own opinions. I'm entitled to mine. So it should be a thing where we can agree to disagree, respect that, and move on. But if it's going to become a heated argument for no reason whatsoever, then why waste your breath? Right? Why waste your breath? So, in terms of being able to do that myself, you know, because I ain't trying to deal with the drama even when there is drama, but, you know, there are times where it's like, okay, it's gonna happen. Those kinds of obstacles are gonna happen anyway, so I have to deal with that the best way I can, however I can. So, yeah, in terms of this video, this translation, you know, to try to get people to understand what you're saying, like the real reason behind what you're saying, what you're doing. If people get it, then they get it. They understand you. Those are the people that you rock with, right? Those are the people that you can say, I appreciate y'all for understanding me, for backing me up on this thing. But for those who still don't get it, even when you explain everything to them, don't waste your time with that. Don't waste your time with that. Only put the time into those people who can actually see you for who you are, what you're trying to represent yourself for, to bring purpose and meaning to life as it is, industry wise and on a daily basis wise as well. So, to cap this off right here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching again. And I really appreciate y'all for sticking with me. And the more people, the better. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So be sure to click the bell notifications next to the subscribe button to make sure that you're notified on every video that I post up. And the links to all the social media that I work with is in the description box below. So, it's Blue Flames the Poet. I'm out of here.